Hello and welcome to today's session on the Apex Trader Funding and FTMO prop firm challenge. Basically, we'll be looking at the FDAX or the German 40 stock index market opening in about 15 minutes time. We'll be running through the pivot points, multiple time frame analysis, including the Bollinger Bands on monthly, weekly, all the way down to 5 minute. And then once the market opens and we get a bit more active, we'll start to use the order flow to determine if these levels are of meaning and impactful. So basically, we'll run through that very soon. Just give me a moment to set up, guys, and we'll be off to the races. First of all, I guess thank you for joining. One quick note, I do have one free Apex Trader Funding account to give away. So if you are active in the chat on the YouTube channel, on the live session, I do have one free account, any size, any platform, that you'll be able to go and use for a month. So it's free for a month. If you pass, obviously you can go and potentially get funded. So what we've got is a kind of a triple banding. So up above, so we've got high, R1 and breakout long, somewhat close together. So we're looking at about 40 points of difference between the top and the bottom. Ideal situation is we break long into the breakout long level and then look for rejections. Ideally, if we do get all the way up to the R2 on an impulsive move, we could be looking at what's going on there. Just confirming you guys can see the session. Looks like it might have dropped out on my side. Okay. So it seems to be working. The preview just seemed to drop out for a little bit there. Apologies for that, guys. So yeah, basically what I'll be looking for is a big impulsive move long, ideally, into, say, the R2, and then targeting the close gap. Or even if we open in the next sort of 10 minutes, we break above this previous day's high, that will form an extreme gap or a target there. And then ultimately, I'll be looking for, potentially might even come down to the S1 and break out short. So basically these pivot points are giving me some information as to what levels to look out for in particular. In between, it's very much no man's land, and unless I see something drastically obvious in the order flow, either the mini DAX or the full contracts, I will basically just be waiting for the market to get into the right position. So essentially, what I'll be looking for is an impulsive move up to take us in. What I don't particularly want to happen is the market falls and we head down towards the close gap without kind of an impulsive move up to take us in, because that means our risk reward ratio is a little bit less. So if I got in here, for example, to go short, my stops are probably going to have to be all the way up here, which is over 40 points away. And then the target is, I guess it's 80 points away, so it's still 2-1, but I think we can do better than that. So that's what I'll be looking for today. If we do have a very bearish day, what's been happening lately is we do get all the way down to this confluence here, these levels, and then we might drop further down, say towards the S2 before rejecting off often an order flow based indication that we're turning around, and then it goes long for the majority of the day from there. So We've got still have about 10 minutes till the open, guys. So what I'll be trading, just for those of you who don't know, I'll trade the German 40, looking at the CFD chart on just a MT5 broker over here. And then I'm using Tradovate, which is a futures broker and platform, coupled with the Apex Trader funding data. I've upgraded the Eurex so I can see the order flow, which helps me identify when we're actually turning around or not a lot of the time. So it doesn't always help, but it does add a bit of an extra picture. So for example, 2 days ago, I identified the low. We'd crossed our levels. I was looking to get long still. So I'll just go back to that. So it was this trade here. So we came all the way down. We broke through the breakout short, but then there was a massive order here in the middle of nowhere, and that pushed the market higher. So there was a good, I think I took 90 odd points out of that one, 92 points. Very good trade. And that was purely because I noticed that the order flow was pushing the market back long, so turning the market back around. So it doesn't always help, and it can be a little bit confusing. It can give you sort of mixed messages as well, but when you use it at the right time, it can be a massive help to your trading. So I'll just go back to the current day. I'll go through some multiple time frame analysis now. So we've got the monthly, quite bearish this month. So we've only got a few days left to the month. And that candle's most likely going to finish lower, unless of course it does what it did the last couple of months, and I'll zoom in, but very little movement from about June effectively. So we've stayed within this range pretty much the whole time. These bigger levels here, so we've got the R3 all the way down to the S3, and it's on a yearly scale. So these are the pivot points. You can see them on a monthly because they're much further away. And what we can see is basically the pivot throughout the year that was connected with at one point, and it was basically a turning point around the time of the tariffs. So there's 180 points that it bypassed that on, but then it turned around for several thousand points. So it's also good. I like to have these yearly pivot points in place just to give me a bit of a guide as to where the market is sitting on a yearly scale, but then also I use these same pivot points on a daily scale as well, like this. And they just kind of help put into perspective where the market is sitting overall. Have a look at the weekly now. Look, nothing much on the weekly. It's still kind of drifting down, but there is, I guess it's slowing the bearish momentum. So potentially we may turn up at some point. I'm not sure if it's going to be this month though. Got the daily, we're kind of at the lower side of the range, or very much in the middle, I guess, of the range, and nothing much to show there. Nothing much on the Bollinger Bands either, so I'll go to the H4. If we got all the way down to this confluence here, we'd be at the Bollinger Band low. If we got to the R2, we'd probably be very close to the Bollinger Band high when that moves up a little bit with the price. Just good to take note, and we're right on the H1 or the 1 hour midline there. So nothing too much in the way of the Bollinger Bands. If we go up higher, look, the 30-minute will be breached, which may indicate some shorting potential. Same on the 15-minute, and we're on the 5-minute now just to see what we do here. So I'm just going to move this little triangle back so I can see where the future price might go, just to kind of visualize what could happen. And we're dropping already. It's pre-market. We've got about 5 minutes until we open. and the market's already heading towards our close gap. I'm hoping this will be a bit of a fake out. It will pretend to come down. It won't actually touch the close gap. It'll come up, giving us a better entry. But there is a chance that we may come down to be close to that close gap. And then basically what we'll be doing is looking for a better opportunity to get into the market. There's a chance we could buy off that, but I think we really have to see it in the order flow to go ahead and do that. Okay, so there's no real ultimate trading setup at this time. What I'll be looking for today is impulsive moves into these levels as usual, and looking for rejections or confirmation in the order flow. So combining two of these aspects to hopefully get quite a good entry. What happened yesterday? Let's take a look. So yesterday's trading, basically the market sold off all the way down to the breakout short in S1. Had a couple of goes at buying, but ultimately was pretty much break even. Came all the way down to this level down here, the confluence down the bottom, and it was quite a good entry. So we saw the volume spike, indicating the market was going to move. We had quite thin volume, kind of like this sort of activity here, for a lot of this move down, and then followed by a big order come in, indicating the market is potentially going to turn around, which it did. I had my stops at break even, but unfortunately the market continued lower. I had another couple of goes at it, and basically it didn't work out. So sitting, I think, what are we sitting on? About $190 down on the FTMO 10K after yesterday's trading. So we'll try and bring that up to probably break even today, but we'll see what the market gives us. Ultimately, if there are no setups, you're better to stay out of the market and wait for a better setup, something that's more clear and going to give you the results that you're after. So really just waiting. We've got 2 minutes till the open now. So just looking for hopefully a spike up at the open. If we start to move down, it is tempting to get short and target that close gap. But if we do start to move up, the DAX can be very relentless when it comes to a bullish move. And I don't like to be on the wrong side of that. So if I can get a nice spike up before I short the market, and I get some good indication that we're going short, then I'll be a lot happier to get into the market. So we just basically got to wait. It's 1 more minute till the open, guys. Just waiting to see what's going to happen. If you missed the analysis, basically I'm looking for a push up into one of these levels, hopefully the R2, but it's a long way away, followed by indications on either the mini DAX or the FDAX contracts, indicating the market will turn around. Target is the close gap down here on the CFD chart. Basically, it's like an unfilled gap that the market likes to close, often on the same day. 30 seconds to go. I'll quickly check the other markets, see where we're positioned, and see what happened. The Nikkei took quite a big hit today by the looks. Anyway, we've got 10 seconds till the open. We're getting that push up. We'll see if it goes high enough. I'll have my finger on the button on my FTMO, make sure the order size is correct, because I don't want to get in too heavy or too light. And hopefully we'll see. That's a lot of buying coming in by the looks. It could be limit orders, but we just want to see what that gives us. So I've hit sell there just because we have touched the previous day's high. We may come up a lot further though, so just waiting to see what the market brings. I'm just going to close that for now. I think that was about $5 profit, which is okay, but I like to wait out for more of an impulsive move. Look, I think the rejection was a nice little quick trade, but there's not really enough volume in it for me to make enough money. So I'd rather just jump out, wait for the market to do a bit more movement, hopefully into a much more prominent level that I can have a bit more confidence getting in. Now, the reason I've got the Mini DAX and the FDAX, in particular the other day, the market, the full contracts, or the main market, didn't really show too much interaction. There was a bit of volume there, but it wasn't massive. What I saw on the Mini DAX though was a very thin market, followed by a massive, I think it was an ask order, to then push the market up. So aggressive buying coming in. And that was the indication to me that the market was ready to start moving long. We may reach the bottom of this kind of structure here and then turn around a little. If we do break it, I think we'll be heading down quite swiftly to the close gap, but we'd have to break it by a little bit, and it kind of, by then it's a little bit too late to start looking for entries. For me anyway, just because of the risk reward and the strict, I guess, rules around the prop firms. So sticking to the drawdown limits, making sure you can come back and have another go when the market's better set up and more, more confident about the positions. So just waiting out the market. It's a little bit slow. It's been quite slow the last kind of week or so at the open. Generally, I see a lot more volatility, a lot more impulsiveness when it comes to the moves. But I think I'm just going to wait. That's part of trading, is just being patient. So ultimately waiting for it to move into a level that we can see value, have it confirmed in the order flow that we're likely to continue in that direction or reverse from the direction that we're looking at. If we break below here, I think it's going to start dropping quite quickly. I've hit sell, but it might turn around might start going up. We'll see if that holds. It's going okay for the moment. What I will be concerned about is when we hit this mid Bollinger Band. I'm just putting the stops to break even now for like $2. If we hit this mid Bollinger Band line, we may start to retrace a little. Seems to be kind of happening already. Okay, that's hit my break even stop, so it's not really respecting the drop. If I see a big ask order, like a limit order come in here, I might be tempted to get in short again, or a lot of aggressive selling on the bid side. So basically just looking for evidence to figure out what direction the market's likely to go. If you don't know much about order flow, there is a book by Tradovate which I found very helpful. Links in the description to go and get that one. But it basically talks about how the bid and ask orders relate to who's buying, who's selling, and some of the thought process around what people are actually doing. So we've kind of bounced up. I'm not sure if we're going to stay in this range or not. So really not excellent trading conditions just at the moment. Really just waiting for the evidence, just sitting there like a sniper, waiting for the market to tell us, right, it's time to go. And generally we'll need a lot more volume at particular prices before we jump in. So right now, very much in the middle of nowhere. Close gap is a target, but ideally I'd love to see a big healthy push up into, say, the breakout long or even the R2 would be an ideal trading situation. Just for the moment though, it doesn't seem to be reacting very much. It's going to be one of those days where you have to sit and wait and watch until the market gives you an indication as to what's going on. So we're getting a bit of a push up here. So this is where it becomes important to watch the order flow a little more closely on both the mini and the full. And I'm looking for big orders that are kind of out of the blue. So really thin volume here, 1s, 2s, 4s. If we can push up a little bit higher, 4 and 6, it's not massive. So I'd like to see a lot more volume on the ask side to tell me that we may have hit a limit order, a limit sell, indicating the market is likely to potentially turn around. On the flip side, if I start to see a lot of bid side activity that looks like aggressive selling, that would also indicate that somebody's taken this market lower. So we've got 16, we've got 10. So the FDAX Mini looks to be kind of getting ready to short. Bit more volume coming in, but it's not super clear. So I'm going to try and be patient here and wait it out. There is a bit more activity going on here than all the other pricing just below. I'm just going to hit sell once again, just for one contract, and see if that can hold. If we continue going higher, I might just simply add to the position. But this kind of activity here, coupled with the FDAX Mini, it's, people are watching the same kind of information across the two contracts, and this bid side, the green orders, look to be aggressive sellers coming into the market. So we'll see if it holds. It may push through, in which case I'll likely watch it up to this point, the breakout long, and look for additional places to get in. So if I see a bit more confirmation, I'm going to add to my position. And ideal situation for today would be to make about 190 USD on the 10K prop firm. That's 24 contracts. I'm going to hit sell again. So 24 is a lot bigger, which kind of shows a lot more confidence compared to the rest of these prices. So somebody was waiting for this price to be hit, potentially, or there were stop losses there that the market has come up, hunted, and taken out. And then hopefully we'll see a lot of bid side activity to push the market down and confirm this move. On the flip side, this could have been an aggressive buy, but the reason I didn't think it was an aggressive buy was because there wasn't buying all the way up. And based on the position of the price, it just looks like it's not really a good place that a smart trader would start getting long from this point. So that's the thought process there. Could always be wrong, of course, but that's what it looks like based on the order flow. Very similar on the mini DAX as well. So we're starting to see a bit more confirmation that we are hopefully heading short. Looks to be more sellers than buyers. But the market's kind of fighting it out just for the moment. So I've got 2 positions short. So we'll see if we drop down. Just watching the market, seeing what it does now. There is a chance that these are limit buy orders followed by aggressive buying. So both the bid and the ask side can have buyers and sellers. So it's not a case of the bids are the buyers or vice versa. Each side could have, so this 19 could have a couple of buyers and majority sellers, for example. So that's why Trader Dale's book is really good at, I guess, explaining what to look for, what each side means, and in what price position it's more likely to mean one over the other. So it looks like a bit of buying here. I can't imagine this is limit orders here. We just need the bid side orders to be a bit stronger than the ask side so that the sellers can take control and move this market, in particular start moving it towards this close gap. If we start to get quite a bit of thin volume lower, it's probably quite a good sign, because then the market is basically waiting for a better price for anyone that's buying, and then perhaps sellers might just come in and kind of push the market down. That's the ideal situation. There is potential though that the market will continue pushing up from this level. It does look a little bit like the bid sides are limit orders followed by aggressive selling, but aggressive buying, I should say. But we've just got to let it play out, have patience, and trust in the analysis. Ultimately, if I did trust in the analysis properly and I let trades run and purely just follow the first couple of trades of each day, I probably would have already passed the FTMO challenge. But yeah, that's trading. It's about sticking to the plan. Starting to push up quite a bit. If we come up a little bit further, perhaps to the breakout long and start to see another kind of big contract up higher, then I will be tempted to add another contract up higher to go short. I'll obviously have to put my stops in place because sometimes the DAX just does just blind buy and be very bullish. So just got to be aware that the market can always keep going in the opposite direction to the one you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be rational, so you need to be able to play within what the market is giving you. This kind of activity, it's not clear that the market is going to sell off from this point. But we do have a couple of levels, so we've got the R1 and the breakout long. So if we do kind of get up to those levels, hopefully we'll see another reason to get short, confirming the direction overall. This is the kind of activity we wanted to see. It's somewhat even, but the sellers seem to have a bit more oomph, and we're starting to see that thin volume coming through. So people are less happy with trading. We've got 12 contracts there, which could be aggressive buying, so somebody might be buying that up. It is a bit of a concern, but at the same time, I am hoping the sellers will come in and take control of this market. Have a look at the FDAX Mini contracts. There's more bid side orders, but the way this is kind of being struck, it could be limit orders as well. So limit buys followed by aggressive buying. So it's just something to be aware of. It's not always selling on the bid side. So we've got more thin volume. Hopefully that makes it easier for the sellers to take more control and continue heading towards this close price down here. I've got two positions in the market at the moment. Basically just waiting it out. So while I didn't get all the way up to the breakout long, or say like we didn't quite touch the R1 there either, because we had the order flow to confirm quite a thin volume all the way up, and then we had a big 24 contract followed by what looked like quite a bit of aggressive selling to push the market down. That was, I guess, indication enough for me that we're likely to start selling off from this point. The tricky part with purely trading on the CFD charts is you don't have this centralized data from the Eurex saying who is buying, who is selling, where the bid and ask orders are coming through. Because the CFD trades, even if you do have the volume, that's only their personal book. It's not the entire market. Whereas the centralized exchange offers a much more, clear and transparent view of who's actually playing in the market. I do still have an Apex Trader Funding account for free. If you're active in the chat, just let me know. Say hi, and let me know if you do want the free account. I send you a code, and then you can pick whatever size account with Apex Trader Funding, as well as any platform that they offer as well. So there's Rhythmic, Tradovate, which I'm using here, and then Wealth Charts, I think it is. So get active in the chat, guys. I will give that away at the end of this session if anybody is interested. I've only got one left. I've given away 9 in the previous trading sessions over the last couple of months. Seems to be a bit more buying going on now from this level on the full contracts, but it seems somewhat even on the bid side as well. So I'm not overly concerned that the market's going to turn around. But if I see a bit more buying coming in, I'll probably just put my stops to break even. We've got a bit of breathing room now, and if it comes back and hits it, that's it is what it is. I can potentially get in again if the market continues higher and gets me a better entry. So stops are at break even. I've got 2 positions there from sort of in between the R1 and the high, and then also around that high as well, just a little bit below. Right on the high, I would say. So we'll see how it plays out now. This is the good part. So we're in a trade. I've got 2 positions in the market, and now basically what I can do is just watch and let it ride, because they're essentially risk-free due to the stops being at break even. Obviously you can cop a bit of slippage. Things can happen in the market where it isn't risk-free, so just note things can happen. But ultimately, if all things are fairly stock standard, this trade is either going to make money or it's going to come and stop me out at break even, which is fine. There's no time limit, there's no rush. It's more about building up a set of funded accounts. And now I'm just watching for any evidence that the market might turn around. If it's quite obvious, I might just jump on and say, look, I'm going to close this trade at the profit. But ultimately, I think I'm much better off just leaving these things run once I'm in a position like this. If it does come all the way back up here to stop me out, that's just the market. But ultimately, if it can push all the way to my target, which I think is somewhere down here, sort of at the 411, if we get all the way down here, I'll be sitting quite well for the day. So slow and steady wins the race. This is a lot of buying coming in, and we are at the low range for this price structure here. So this might be it. The market may come all the way up and cancel out my orders, but if I see some more evidence that we are going to turn back around, I can always sell once again, unless of course the market clips my stop and then turns right around, which happens quite a bit too. So it's all about being patient, letting these things happen, and waiting for the right setup to make your money. And ultimately, it's just me waiting, letting the market do all the hard work now, because I'm in these trades already. Very close to the stop. Okay, so one trade has been stopped at break even. It wasn't the best entry, so that's okay. If we keep coming up higher, perhaps I'll just get a better entry. So really just watching the market now to see. There we go, there's a few more contracts there. We might start to sell off from that. So 16, we've got 9 there. If we do kind of spike up a little bit and there's really thin volume like we saw here, I'll be tempted to hit sell again on the FTMO challenge that I've got. That's 20, 24, 25. Look, that's that looks to me like selling. Okay, I've added another contract. Got a bit better of an entry compared to before. We'll see if the next one up gets taken out as well. This kind of activity tells me that we may be ready to turn around though. And we have, so that's good. See if it'll hold. So it's almost like there was a whole heap of stops at break even around these prices, exactly where I had mine. The market's come back, taken them out, so that then they can, I guess, add more volume short and continue down, hopefully towards that close gap. The alternative, of course, is that could have been aggressive buyers saying, right, this is the point we want to get in long. But ultimately, they really should have been doing it from down here. So that's what leads me to believe that these are limit sells. Also, there was a lot of thin volume here as well. just added a little bit more to my position. We'll see if the sellers can take hold. I'm just going to put my stops to break even. Stops, not break even, I should say. Just put them in place just in case we do get a bit of an impulsive spike and I'm not quick enough on the trigger. So I don't want to be sitting there or, you know, I look away for a second and the market's moved 100 points. I'd rather have my stops in place so that I'm ready. 7 contracts there. Hopefully that is selling. Very similar on the FDAX Mini. So hopefully the market does push down. It's really hovering here. So it's almost like the market's a little bit unsure. Perhaps, hopefully the sellers are soaking up a few of the cautious buyers that are getting in, slowly adding to the market, and then the seller can come in and take that position to add to their volume. Otherwise, you know, hopefully we don't spike up too far here. So just waiting the market out, watching the order flow. I would much prefer the market to move a little bit quicker here. So one of my positions that had stops to break even has been taken out there. So I might look to add another position potentially. Just let the market kind of tell me what's going on here. So we've got a couple of contracts on that one. I'll hit sell again. We'll see what happens. It's coming right up. It's down about $10 at the moment. This is kind of the spike that I was hoping for earlier in the day. So it's taking some time. Hopefully we do get all the way up to this breakout long and see a really massive order come through to start selling the market. This looks like aggressive selling here, or it could have been people with a breakout buy order, like a limit order there. I think there's a chance we may get up to this breakout long, but I'm not too sure just at the moment. So just watching the order flow carefully, seeing if I can get any evidence. Look, this 20 followed by selling here looks quite good, but this volume structure kind of looks like there's a little bit more buying going on than selling just at the moment. So I'd love to see this start filling out on the bid side a bit more to indicate that we are going to start going down. So I've added another position there, just in case. I've got my stops pretty close. So if we do break past this breakout long, I'll be jumping out. Because ultimately, if we do get past that, and there's no indication that we're going to turn around, we could be heading much higher. So I don't want to be in for the ride all the way up with no indication as to where I am likely to get out. So 10 contracts there, that looks quite good. Hopefully we get some more aggressive selling on the FDAX Mini, and then ultimately if we get it on the FDAX full contracts, that would be even better. So we'll see how it all plays out here. Sitting at about 120 odd USD loss right now. I've got a $500 per day limit. It's hovering very close to this level. So unless it turns around, I'm probably going to be out of this trade. So we really need a lot more evidence for the market to say, right, this is it. There's a lot of selling going on here. You know, if that doesn't take control and then push that market down, then you know, then I'm not reading the market correctly. So if these sellers can really add on, start to pressure the market lower, scare off any buyers along the way down to thin out that volume and get a bigger price move, that would be just absolutely ideal. There's still a few buyers coming in though, so just need a bit more downward pressure. So from today's trading, there was a lot of in and outs and stops to break even, down about $9.50, which is okay. Ideally, if this market does start to move from here, what have I got? So I've got, if the market gets all the way down to these levels or a little bit less than, I'll be looking at 475 plus 475, 485 I should say, and 259. So I might just jump on Excel. So it was 475, 485, and what was the last one? 259. And I'll just sum that up just to see where it'll land. So that'd be $1,200, a little bit over, which is basically exactly what I'd need to pass the account. I've done multiple days now, so that's all good. I've passed everything except for just the profit target. FTMO are really good as well with passing. So if you do pass and you haven't done anything silly, then they generally just fund you. So I think that's why they're one of the most prominent ones, because you can trust that they will give you funding unless you're doing you know, dodgy things with the platform or something like that. This looks like buying to me, which is a bit of a concern. So it looks like there's more buyers coming in down at this level. Just need the sellers to really take hold of that. If we break out from this level, I don't want to be in the trade anyway. So basically just got to see if the market pushes down from here. On the FDAX Mini, it looks very even as well. So, you know, there's no real indication. So the order flow hasn't been that helpful to us today. You basically could have done very similar activity just using the levels, but it is on those occasions where the order flow does tell you what's going on. You know, you get an extra trade here or there. You know, it's quite good. Hi ZRG TV, thanks for coming back. Good to see you. How did you go with your, have you still got your free account that I sent through? The market's probably just going to dance around here. I've got to go, but yeah, basically if we come above this level, I'll be out of the market. If we come all the way down here without breaking this breakout long, then I might have passed the account. So we'll come back tomorrow, see where it lands. But look, that looks like a lot of buying to me, so a little bit scary. See how it plays out. That's trading. Just got to be patient and let the market do its thing. Best of luck with your trading, guys, and we'll see you all tomorrow.